Woohoo! It's Aloha Friday, my friends. How you doing today? Are you staying positive? That's the only way that you gotta be. PMA, positive mental attitude. And how do we maintain our positive mental attitude? Simply just by focusing on the positives all the time. We know there's negatives, but we're gonna focus on the positives all the time. My friends, I say it's Aloha Friday. All right. I think my ukulele is a little bit out of tune because I've been spending all of last couple weeks on the first island down of Kauai, Hawaii, and I have been playing my ukulele in the ocean. Well, not in the ocean, in front of the ocean. And I didn't tune it right before I played just now. So if you heard it a little bit out of tune, well, forgive me, please, but I'm going to make it up to you by showing you the right time and the right date, just like this, my friends. Check it out. Imagine that you're working and you just need a time stamp or a date stamp. What date is it today? So you can easily just go, boop, that's the date today. And that's a static date stamp. It just stays like that. You can close this workbook, save it, open it up. It's going to be still that date, 8/27. Doesn't even matter if it's 10/27 when you open it up. It's still going to be 8/27. What if we want a timestamp? Well, to do a timestamp, we can just, boop, do that, just like that. And that is going to be static. It's not going to change. Even if I open this up at 3 p.m. today, it's still going to say 7:02 a.m. right there. Now, these right here, these are dynamic. This is a dynamic date and time, and this is a dynamic date. This date is going to update. When I open it up tomorrow, the spreadsheet, the date that's going to be in there is going to be 8/28. That's tomorrow's date if I open it up tomorrow. This date will stay the same always because it's static. This one is dynamic. And this date right here, this is date and time. So every time I press the letter F, the function F9 refreshes. So watch this. Every time I press F9, these will refresh. The date won't refresh because this date is still 8/27, but you'll see the time refresh because right now it's 7:03. So I'm going to press F9. Boom, and there you go, because it's dynamic. That's what we're going to learn today. It's simple, it's quick, it's a date and time function, 2 of them, and 2 keyboard shortcuts. Let's check it out. There it is right there. And we're going to get ready to get ourselves some skills. Woo! All right, so I'm going to clear all these out right here. Delete. And then let's me just go ahead and show you how to do a timestamp. So let's say we're working away right now, and we just need to do a quick date stamp. So we're just going to press the date stamp shortcut. And the date stamp shortcut is you're just going to press the control plus the semicolon. Whoops, excuse me. The control plus the semicolon. And when you press control semicolon, you know what? I'm going to slide this one right over here. When you press control semicolon, what happens is, bam, it's a date stamp, just like that. And remember, you can always change the format. Like if you don't like it to be 8/27/2021, you want to change that format, you're just going to go to your home tab, and in your home tab, you're going to go to your numbers group, and then right in here, you can change the format of that date. Like you can have a long date like that, or you can have a short date, which is what we had in there. And then you can even customize it even further by clicking on that dialog box launcher and seeing all the other number formats available to you. You can even create a custom one right over here. But that's a whole nother lesson on its own, my friends. Right now, we're just focusing on a quick keyboard shortcut, control plus semicolon. And now let's take a look at a date add a timestamp. So the first one was a date stamp. It just puts a static date. It doesn't change. It's always going to be whatever that date is, 8/27 in this case. And for a timestamp, we're just going to do that. And that is Control plus Shift plus semicolon. So it's Control plus Shift plus semicolon. So when you press Control Shift semicolon, what's going to happen is you're going to do a timestamp. So Control Shift semicolon timestamp. So you notice this one was Control semicolon, and that is a static date stamp. And this one is Control Shift semicolon, and it gives us a timestamp. So let's go ahead and copy this one right over here, and I'm going to just put it right there. All right. So now we know that these are static. They're not going to change. They're shortcuts. And I'm using Control plus semicolon, but you've got to, what if you're using a Mac? One of the beauties of Office 365, which is actually called Microsoft 365 now, we're slowly moving away from Office 365 into Microsoft 365. Excel for Mac and Excel for Windows work really well with each other. It used to be way different, but nowadays it's just a couple minor differences. I'll do another class on the differences later on. But the keyboard shortcuts are going to be different. You have commands in your Mac, and we have shortcuts, keyboard shortcuts in Excel. So I recommend that you go visit this website right here, shortcutworld.com. And then once you're in shortcutworld.com, you can easily just go and find the shortcuts that you want. For example, I want some Microsoft Excel shortcuts. And here you'll notice that you have Mac OS shortcuts and Windows shortcuts. So whenever I am teaching and you hear me, because I'm a Microsoft certified trainer, I know Excel and Windows really well, and not really that proficient on Mac. So I use this tool to help me, this resource. So whenever you're hearing me mention shortcuts and you're using the Mac, go to shortcutworld.com, Excel shortcuts, go to Mac OS, and then right in here, you can download yourself a PDF. You can add to it. You can download an Excel spreadsheet. You can start chats with people. And here's where you're going to see your shortcuts for date and time and a lot of the shortcuts that I mentioned. So here we go. Now that we know static date and time, how about a dynamic? Let's say that you need date and time in a cell and you need it to update so it's current. So let's say that you want it to be the time right now and the date right now. So then you would just say equals, because whenever you're writing a formula in Excel, you always start with an equal sign. Excel, do this. So now we're going to say date and time right now. So put NOW, and right here we see the NOW function, and it returns the current date and time formatted as a date and time. That's cool. You know what we could have also done? We could also just go to the insert function tool right up here, right next to the formula bar. And I like to call that the formula builder. That's not the official name. The official name is insert function tool. I like to call it the formula builder. So what I did is we put our marquee right in the cell where we want that formula to go. Then we just go right up to our insert function tool. And then we just want to type the time and date. And there's a date value, forecast. You just go through these. You're going to see that it's giving you the descriptions of what that function does. And you can also change what you're looking for, just like when you're searching on Google and the like. Here we see the now, and we see that the now returns the current date and time formatted as a date and time. All right, cool. So let's just go right ahead and press OK. And now this tells us that the function arguments are, the function returns the current date and time formatted as a date and time. This function takes no arguments. And be careful, because the formula result is volatile. Whoa! No, it's not going to blow up. It just means that it's dynamic. It changes. So now let's go right ahead and zoom right out of that. I'm going to press OK. And now we have the date and time formatted as a date and time. So let's say that you didn't want to see the time. You only wanted to see the date. Well, then you could use a different function. for a dynamic date, a date that updates on a regular basis, you can just, well, you want to know the date when? Today? Today's date? So let's try that function. Equals, and I put in the letter T, and now I begin to see all the functions that begin with a T, and I can say O, and there's a TO, today. And this function returns the current date formatted as a date. Hey, that's cool. That makes sense too, because the today function is always going to let me know what today's date is. So tomorrow, it'll let me know what today's date is tomorrow, because tomorrow will be today, tomorrow. Something to think about. Anyways, let me put in the today function right in here. I'm going to tab right into it, and then it requires no arguments right there. Watch. Let me just escape right out of here and go into our formula builder, insert function tool right over here. And then let's just say that we want to put in a today's date. Oh, rephrase the question. How about date today? Let's go. No. Date. Go. Date. Now. Days 360. See, so it matters how you search for it. That's why it's good you're watching this video. Date and time. So then today's date. How about just today? What's going on? That's why it's good, you see? That's why it's good that you're watching this YouTube live stream right now, because you might have never found it in here. So now we're going to go right ahead and press OK. And there we see the today function. And once again, it returns the current date formatted as a date. And this formula result, once again, is volatile. Whoa. All right. So let's go right ahead and press OK. And then there we have it. We have a dynamic date. That means that it's always going to show whatever the date is today. So if you open it up tomorrow, it's going to show tomorrow's date, because tomorrow when you open it up will actually be today. And now here we have date and time formatted as date and time. Let's look at this function real quick. Right? It's telling us right here that it returns a current date and time formatted as a date and time. So what if I only wanted just the time to be updated in that cell? I don't want to see the date. I just want to see the time dynamically. I don't want it static. I want it dynamic. I want it to be volatile. Update. How would I do that? Well, look closely at this. It says it returns the current date and time formatted as a date and time. This function takes no arguments. All right, so if it's formatted as a date and time, well, then maybe we can change the format. So I'll press OK. And then let's just go right into our home tab, and we can see our numbers group. And within our numbers group, it's showing us a custom format. What if I just want it to be time? I can just put time right there. And now it's going to show me the current time. But what if I don't like that format? I don't want to see the seconds. Well, then I'm going to have to click on my number format dialog box launcher to see more options on how to display the time. And here we have more options on how to display the time. And let's say you only wanted to display just the hour, the minutes, and whether it's AM or PM. So you've got all these options to choose from. So now I'm going to go right ahead and press OK. And now we have only the time instead of the date and time. It's just the time, because we just formatted it to display the time like we want. Now every time I press F9, it's going to refresh and it's going to update the time for us. And that's it, my friends. I'm getting ready to teach 7 steps to Excel success basics. Right now on Aloha Friday is our intro session. Every month we teach the 7 steps to Excel success basics. So I encourage you to go to don'tgetmadgetskills.com, and when you're at don'tgetmadgetskills.com, you're going to land on this page where it's going to show you the schedule of upcoming classes for this month. How much are these classes? They're free $95. Yes, because I want you to learn, because I love you, my friends. So I would say go ahead right now. Look, it's 27th of August. That's today. That's right now. And go ahead and come on in here and book your spot. I'm about to start teaching, and we're going to learn about introduction to Excel, and we're going to lay a solid Excel skills foundation. So I encourage you, my friends, come on down to don'tgetmadgetskills.com and start getting yourself some skills. Because, why? Because I love you, and I want you to keep on learning. And most of all, remember, my friends, don't get mad. Get skills. Aloha.